5 best places to retire in Costa Rica. Hi, my name is Muriel. I lived 7.5 years in Costa Rica, so I'm not just a Costa Rica vlogger who's here for a couple of months and preaching, knowing everything. I just share everything I've learned so far after moving here from the Netherlands with my husband and 2 children. So I am excited to have you here. Welcome. If you have not subscribed, this is an open invite. Just click that little icon on the screen, tap the bell to get notified every time I upload new video. And if you have suggestions, always feel welcome to place a comment and let me know. I'm not saying I know everything, but I can do my best to provide value on request. Yeah, let's dive right in. The number one where most people have been close by is Escazu, San Jose. Escazu, San Jose is one of the more expensive suburbs of the capital, and the reason why I sometimes visit Escazu is before I leave Costa Rica for some kind of trip, or when I enter Costa Rica and it's too late to travel to my living destination, which is on the Nicoya Peninsula. So I often stay Airbnbs there, and then I enjoy, you know, the malls and the concrete roads, taking Ubers, and a lot of variety of restaurants, gyms. It's a different life than where I live. If you have watched my other videos, I kind of live at the countryside in between towns, Montezuma and Santa Teresa, and that's a completely different world. We don't even have traffic lights here at the peninsula, and Escazu is very favorite with lots of North American people who are retired. So I think it's definitely worth it to check out, but the prices are high. For 2-bedroom apartments, you easily pay $1,200 to $1,500 without a lot of outdoor space. And yeah, there are lots of compounds, but in compounds you probably have a lot of extras, but also lots of extra people. So if that's what you don't want, then yeah, it is worth it to just check out other places too. So that was the number one. The number two, on the northwest, Tamarindo. A lot of North Americans there. Oh, there's my kitty. Super dry. It's the province Guanacaste. Come Daisy. Well, you love it or you hate it. Personally, I've been there. I'm not a big fan. I had to do my best to find a local Costa Rican soda. I couldn't find it. But for a lot of people, especially North Americans, who just kind of are attached to their lifestyle back in the States, you will find a lot of resemblances with their life in the States. It's just a fact. More and more Ticos, local Costa Ricans, are leaving because the prices are going through the roof. I think it's best that you go to check it out. It is a big surf culture, young people, lots of clubs, lots of restaurants, lots of noise. I think it's worth it to visit so you can compare. It has a totally different vibe than Escazu San Jose, of course, but also like compared to the place where I live, a completely different vibe. Lots of buildings, lots of cars, lots of parkings, and lots of dynamics, and that can be cool too. Some people just like it, and a lot of people don't. So yeah, that's my tip number 2. Tip number 3 is the South Pacific, Uvita and Dominical. That's actually the town, the place Dominical, where my husband and I decided to move to Costa Rica. So that says a thing. What is cool about it? Well, it's kind of the place where the jungle meets the ocean, where it's lushy and kind of wild and surf vibe. I love those wild oceans, and it's a different vibe than Tamarindo. It's more laid back, but also there's disadvantages. The roads are pretty crappy there, although it's getting better. If you are not comfortable living in a place where you have to take very bumpy roads when you go from A to B, you don't want to be there. No matter how beautiful the whale tail is, that's a beautiful, epic beach that you have to visit. You can find it everywhere on video and stuff, how that looks like. So it is epic, but yeah, it also has its disadvantages. How expensive is it there? Well, less expensive than Tamarindo, but it's more affordable. However, like I always say, you don't want to live on a budget. Costa Rica is quite expensive compared to all the other countries around us, like Nicaragua, Panama, but also like Mexico. Be smart or have an up and running income, like online what I do, or just, you know, take it for granted that you have to eat rice and beans and don't have a lot of freedom because you cannot afford a vehicle, or you live in a Tico house, and that, you know, is not always ideal, but some people just have to check it out for themselves. But it's so unfortunate to see still the number one why a lot of expats leave Costa Rica is because they cannot deal with the high prices. So go to the comments, check out if what I do is something for you. Okay, the number 3, Manuel Antonio. I love to do trips with my son. We do little tours in Costa Rica to check out, you know, other areas. You know, Manuel Antonio is basically one of the most epic, beautiful national parks in Costa Rica. You must have seen it. However, as expat living here, I felt like it's so touristic. It is beautiful, epic. The beautiful beaches are stunning and the park is worth it, but the prices of the restaurants, boutique hotels, but also just the shops, all the prices are high. I think it's one of the most expensive but also most beautiful places of Costa Rica. So you really have to, you know, your heart should make a jump there in order to decide to live there. It happens still with people that they find an amazing place that touches their heart. But for me, it would not be the place where I want to live, but it's an awesome place to visit once in a while and to hang out as tourist, even if you are living in Costa Rica. That's how I do it. And place number 5, that's on the list, is where I live. Santa Teresa, Montezuma. It's the Nicoya Peninsula. And I chose this place because it definitely stole my heart. About 9 years ago, when I visited this place for the very first time, we planted our flag here, and this is where we moved to after leaving the Netherlands. Why? You know, it is a surf, active, young, beach vibey town. I'm talking about Santa Teresa. And I love being on a peninsula. It has a kind of remote it's kind of a separate part of Costa Rica. It's the province Punta Arenas, which we are part of, is a weird shaped province, and we're kind of like at the far end of it. If we go to San Jose, we take the ferry, or lately you can also fly to the town of Cobano. So more and more people who want to retire are coming here, because now basically you can be in 30 minutes in San Jose, because we have a small airport with domestic flights flying out from Cobano, which is like a 7 minutes drive from where I live. Dirk and I, we decided to move to the mountains in more central Costa Rica after 7.5 years. So that's why our property is for sale. So if you are curious about properties here and the costs, I'm not saying it is super cheap, but it is affordable depending what your lifestyle is. There are very high priced villas, but also just locals are still living here. It still has local vibe. We have a lot of locals mixed with tourists and expats in Santa Teresa. And Montezuma has a different vibe. I don't know how to explain it. It all has beautiful epic beaches and a lot of surf culture here, lots of local sodas. I'm not neutral. I love this place, and that's why I live here. Definitely should be a beach person if you want to live here, because it's a peninsula. The peninsula is attached with one part to the mainland and 3 parts surrounded by ocean. So okay, the disadvantages here, I'm gonna tell you some pros and cons. Disadvantages are definitely the infrastructure and the roads. If you're adventurous and you have a good car, you're good to go. I drive an ADV. You can see me on many videos on my ADV. And we have a very cool car with very high heels and big bumpers and stuff, really created for this area. We love living on the countryside, so our neighbors are cows, and living in between towns is just really, really awesome. We have no neighbors, and we have 5.5 acres of land, a lot of wildlife, monkeys. However, yes, more expats are coming, so there is construction around, but still our area is still quite quiet, and there's a lots of things to do. So you can really choose to live on the countryside up the peninsula and drive into town if you want to go to restaurants. We have good doctor service, and there's just a vibey vibe here because it is visited by really surfer tourists, and yeah, there's nightlife. So I think you might like to just visit all these 5 places. I know lots of people who are retired here, so it's not just only for young people, it's also for, you know, around age 55, 65. It's really the art of finding the right house, the right property. So again, my property is for sale. So to close down this video, I cannot decide what's best for you. I always say, don't take anyone's word for it. Come and visit, have a good 4x4 car, drive around, pick a couple of spots in Costa Rica and go feel yourself what is best. Don't pay up front a long period of rent from a distance. If you want to check out Costa Rica, do it in the low season, and that is not end of November until February, March. That's high season in most places. It would be good to come now. It's super low season. A lot of places are closed in my area. You can really bargain on cheap Airbnbs and being in an epic place, basically everywhere in Costa Rica. And then just go with what your family situation wants and needs. Are you going for more luxury and you want just a normal car and no crazy roads? Go and live a little bit around San Jose, Escazu, or maybe in Central Valley, close by San Isidro del General. More city life, more concrete, better roads, more supermarkets and stuff. And if you want the adventurous life, that's where we live. Yeah, the other options are worth it to check it out. And I hope that you benefit from this video. Leave your comments down below and see you on the next one.